Hi guys, I wanted to take the time to review how to measure accurately because some of you are still making some little mistakes that need to be resolved. So the first thing, we want to measure the size of an object. Say we want to measure this marker. Is you want to make sure that you are using the units of measurements that the problem is asking you to use. So if they're asking you to use centimeters to measure the size of this Mr. Sketch marker, then you would be on the right side because these are centimeters. They are closer together than inches, which are on the other side. Okay, but if they're asking you to use inches, this is where you should be measuring. Okay, so assuming that they're asking you to use inches, the first thing that you need to do is you need to find the 0. Okay, you're not going to start measuring at the edge of your ruler. Then you're going to line up the edge of your object, which is this marker, okay, and you're going to line it up with the 0. Once you have done that exactly, okay, you're not going to move it and you're going to look at the other edge and see what it goes up to. And in this case, it's going up to 5. So this is 5 inches long, okay? 5 inches long. Great. All right, now let's make believe we have to measure these scissors. This is a very irregularly shaped object. So what you want to do with an object like this is we want to look at where it is the longest. So we don't want to do it, we don't want to move it around like this. We want to line it up so that it is parallel or running along the same way that the ruler is, okay? And then you're going to make believe that there is a line from the 0 to the edge of your object, okay? That way you know you have it in the right spot. There we go, okay? So this is the 0, and now we're gonna go and look at the other end, and we notice that it is a little after the 6. You see? It's a little after the 6 inches right here. So it is about 6 inches. It is not about 7 inches. It is very far away from 7. It is way closer to 6. That is why I'm going to say that these scissors are about 6 inches. Let me move it down so you see what I wrote. About 6 inches, okay? Now, I measured something earlier. I don't remember what it was. And when I lined it up with my ruler, my object was between the 5 and the 6. So if an object is in between 2 inches, the 5 and the 6, or the 4 and the 5, you would say, if this is 5 and this is 6, you would say your object is 6.5 inches, okay? That is when it is smack in the middle of 2 numbers. All right, so that was the first thing I wanted to tell you about. But then the other thing that I realized that you still don't know sometimes is how you go about measuring, or can you go about measuring something and starting from the number 1. Can you do that? How big is this square paper? These are one of those sticky notes that I like to use. So I lined it up at 1, and it goes all the way up to 4 inches. So how big is it? Okay, I didn't line it up at the 0, but this is still a good way to measure. But you just have to keep track of your numbers. It is not 4 inches big or 4 inches long. It is 4 inches minus 1 inch. the 1 inch that you did not use here. So it is 3 inches. 1, 2, and then 3 inches. That is how big this sticky note is, or how long this sticky note is. Now, let's see. Let's start now with our glue. Okay, here we have a glue, and let's start measuring our glue from the 2. Okay, so if we are at 2 inches, and it goes all the way up to 7 inches, how big is it? Or how long is it? Okay, so we have 7 inches here, and you've started to measure from 2 inches. This distance from 2 inches to 7 inches is 7 minus 2, and it'll give you the size, 5 inches. My special Uhu glue is 5 inches. So you know now that to get accurate measurements, it is always advisable to start right at the 0. But if you don't see the 0, or if you want to do it in a special way, okay, you can also start your measurements from another number, but then you have to subtract the difference, okay? You have to make sure that you account or take into consideration the space that you did not use in lining up your object. Thank you very much. If you have any questions about what you saw today, please send me a message or email me. All right? Bye, guys.